Every day, thousands of people hit the road heading towards their dreams. But sometimes those dreams collide with a harsh reality. Auto accidents with 18-wheelers can change lives in an instant. That's why you need the experience and expertise of St. Martin & Bork. With over 50 years of experience, St. Martin & Bork have fought for justice for the victims of truck accidents.
If you've been in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, know your rights.
Call St. Martin & Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, welcome into Bayou Time News. Harry McCullough here. The election day is, of course, November 5th. That'll be for the presidential election between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. We may or may not know who is the president by the following day when the Louisiana legislature starts their special session. That will be on November 6th, on the Wednesday. Here to talk a little more about it is Representative Jerome Zeringue, District 52, representing our area. They're going to have a special session. It's going to be on Wednesday. You think we're going to know who our president is by that date?
I sure hope so. If we don't, we're going to have some problems, but I think we will. And yes, we are starting a special session that's starting November 6th and will extend to November 25th to primarily talk about some tax restructuring, and we'll see what happens.
So they have what you were explaining to me with the call. So the governor has to put out a call for a special session, and you guys can only talk about legislation specific to these calls. So there's going to be a number of things, but I think what everybody's looking at is tax reform from Governor Landry. So can you explain that a little bit about the call and what you guys are going to be doing over the next couple of weeks?
Sure. We can be called in a special session one of two ways. Either the governor can call us in or the legislature themselves can call themselves in. The governor called, and whenever there is a call for a special session, you have to itemize or list the topics for discussion or consideration, and you can only introduce legislation that is specific to that call. And you're right, primarily, most of what's in the call is related to the tax structure: personal income tax, corporate tax, inventory tax. A lot of the tax structure and what we currently have that is constitutionally protected, also working toward a constitutional amendment that would remove a lot of the constitutional protections and put them in statute, because that's part of the problem we have in Louisiana. Louisiana Constitution has been amended over 273 times. What was it, 28 or 27? The federal U.S. Constitution has been amended. I think that Constitution is a little bit more involved than ours, but we amended ours so much. So it's going to take a lot of the constitutional protections related to fiscal issues and put that in the statute.
This is different than the Constitutional Convention that y'all were trying to do right when Governor Landry was elected, right? So this is a little different the way it's going about?
Yeah, the original Constitutional Convention, as intended, was going to take or get into the Constitution in many different aspects that are constitutionally amended issues or factors that are things that within state government are constitutionally protected, and put them into statute, not just fiscal issues. But primarily what we're working on this special session is going to address a majority of which will be those constitutional protections related to fiscal issues and making them available to be voted on within the legislature themselves.
And this will probably be the largest change, you were saying, the largest change in tax reform since like 50 years, almost, like 1974. A lot of people would love to have less taxes, but a lot of other people are going, well, how are we going to pay for anything if we lower all these taxes? So how's that all going to come together?
Well, as you know, in government, there's no free chicken. So a lot of what is being proposed, and again, you're right, if as proposed, or even if it passes, this will be the largest change in fiscal budgeting within the state in the past 50 years. So the way to offset a lot of these things, they're doing several things: reducing personal income tax, reducing corporate franchise tax, taking the revenue stabilization fund and putting that into the budget stabilization fund that can be utilized or accessed if there's budget deficits, which we're anticipating one this next fiscal year. But they're also going to pay for this by increasing taxes on services that currently aren't taxed and looking at some other ways to offset what the reduction in personal income tax and corporate income tax will be. We're looking at sales tax. Things that currently aren't taxed will be taxed through sales tax.
Yeah,
and then that's going to be offset.
Yeah, basically, it looks like we're trying to do is compete with surrounding states, most notably Texas and Florida, that have zero income tax, and that's what we're trying to get to. But it's a lot of people are going to wonder, can we do that in this state and get to zero? I think we're trying to get to 3 now, right?
Well, the proposed legislation in the session is to get it to 3, but to achieve that, they're going to have to renew the 0.45 sales tax that currently exists that was supposed to roll off next year. They're going to have to keep that. That will allow to utilize those dollars to offset the potential increase by lowering the personal income tax. But everyone will see a reduction based on this proposal and their personal income tax. And yes, there'll have to be different reforms in the future to get us to 0, but I think that's the intended purpose.
Well, Jerome, look, is the honeymoon still there, right? With Governor Landry, what's your prediction? We got about 40 seconds to go here. What's your prediction? What comes out of this special session?
I think it's going to be tough. It's not going to be as simple as just saying we're completely changing the tax structure and it's going to improve everybody's taxes and everybody will be happy. I mean, there's going to be impacts to local governments. There's going to be impacts to other things that need to be considered. I think it has a chance, but we're going to have to work through the various issues. It's complicated. It's not just a simple, turn the switch and it's going to get better. There are things that we have to consider and accept. People are going to have to accept before we can approve it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And at least, I'm sure the governor would like to push the ball a little bit further down the road and get you guys back in session next time. It'll be November 6th. You'll be back in Baton Rouge. We appreciate it. That's Jerome Zeringue, State Representative, District 52. Thanks.
Thank you, Harry.
Okay. We'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.